and a good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the good people of the tube. Hope you're doing grand and all is well in your world. Today's vid, everybody, I'm going to be recreating my favourite John Frusciante pedalboard, and hopefully trying to recreate his tone from my favourite era of John. So my favourite era of John Frusciante is the Californication era, 98, 99, 2000. Basically when he came back for the first time. So that's my favourite era of John for tone, playing, solos, everything. That is just my favourite era. By the way, over Stadium Arcadium, that's my favourite era. And John's pedalboard around that time was extremely small and very humble. And I just like the sound he has at that period of time more so than any other period of John. So, and again, his pedalboard is very, very tiny at a point in time. He has 5 pedals, which is a massive change when you kind of look at what he went to during the Stadium Arcadium era, where his pedalboard was basically the size of this house. So, and I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to recreate it, but it's only recently with the acquisition of certain things, pedal-wise, that I'm actually able to do that. So, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll talk about signal chain as we go through the pedals. So, from the Marshall Major and the Silver Jubilee, which I don't have, but I'll talk a bit more about what amps I'm going to use in a minute. From the Silver Jubilee and the Marshall Major, the first pedal John hit was the Boss CE1 chorus pedal. And basically, that was the pedal that allowed him to split his amps into stereo, but actually come out into mono. So the first pedal he hit from his amps was the CE1 chorus pedal. And we will be replicating that today using the glorious Past Effects chorus ensemble pedal. This is absolutely wicked. I love this bit. This pedal to bits. I love this bits to pedal, I was about to say. Okay, so that's the chorus pedal we're going to use. And we are going to use 2 amps as well, because this pedal has the ability to go out stereo and then some out to mono. So we will be using the chorus ensemble by Past Effects to replicate that. Sounds amazing. Love it to bits. From there, the next pedal John hit was the Ibanez Wah Wah pedal. And the pictures, I'll put some pictures up in a second, of the wah pedal that John used at the time obviously was the Ibanez WH10, but it was the black version, it was this version. Although John does have the grey version as well. And I won't be using this in the video, mainly because I'm too terrified to use it, as it's not mine. If I break it, I can't afford to replace it, and I just don't want to run the risk of killing it. So I'm going to be using my V2 grey WH10 instead of this one. But that's the pedal John did use. That's the pedal in the pictures you'll see before we start building this in a minute. So that's the next pedal. From there, he went into a MXR Phase 90. Now, this pedal was not used a great deal by John around that time. It was used very sparingly. It was there for every now and again. But I'm not going to bother with it at all. I'm not going to bother with a phaser, as basically John didn't use it enough, and as a result doesn't warrant me putting it on this board. I'm not going to bother. So from there, the next pedal we hit was the FZ Fuzz by Boss. And this is kind of like, John's fuzz pedal that he used for the entire Californication tour. There are pictures of him using a big muff on his pedal, but I would say that was only studio. I've never seen any pictures or live footage of that period of time where John isn't using this thing. And it's the Russian Big Muff as well. It's the black Russian Big Muff. But this is the pedal that John used mainly for the Californication era, the FZ3. Okay, so that's the Fuzz. And then from the Fuzz, we went to the glorious, beastly, one and only, one of a kind beast, the Boss DS2. And then from the DS2 went out to his guitar. And John wasn't using wireless at this point in time either, so it's all on the lead. And that's it. That is it. So simple as you like, and just glorious. Absolutely glorious. So so that's it. That's what that is it. So simple, wicked, joyful, happy days. And I've always wanted to do this, but and I've never been able to. But with the acquisition of this thing and the acquisition of this thing, I'm now able to recreate my favourite John Frusciante pedalboard. And also, we are going to be, like I say, we're going to be using 2 amps today, but I'll talk a bit more about that when we built the pedalboard. So, without further doodles, let's get on with it. Let's build this pedalboard. So, yes, let me reposition the camera. Oh, and by the way, quickly, before I do this, I'll put a picture up of the pedalboard I will be recreating. So, also another thing. I'm going to be daisy chaining my pedalboard today off a power supply. John powered his entire pedalboard, apart from the CE1, which is a mains adapter. All the other pedals, the Ibanez Wah, the MXR Phase, which again is null and void in this video, the Fuzz and the Boss DS2, they were all powered off batteries. They were not powered off any kind of external thing. But today I'm going to run them off a daisy chain, just because I just don't want to use batteries. And also I don't have enough batteries and I'm not going out to buy them because they're expensive. So anyway, moving along. So yeah, let's build. And by the way, here's a picture of what we're recreating. Ha ha! Okie dokie, there we go, people. That is basically it. That's the thing. So first things first, the chorus ensemble. So I'm going to put this on this side of the board. Get it sat. Okay, so chorus ensemble is in. I need a patch lead. Oh, not that one. That's too long. That one should do it. Okay, so next thing we're going to hit is the WH10, which is down here. Okay, so like I say, I'm using the V2 just because I don't want to kill the V1, because this V1, they're so flimsy, and like I said in a video when I demoed this, I wouldn't want to own one of these things. I would never use it. I'd be too afraid to use it. So V2 all the way. So plug in the V2. And I might actually run the WH10 off a battery, but I doubt it highly, but either way. So WH10 down and done. So I'm ridiculously excited about this, everybody. I'm actually physically shaking a little bit because I'm actually really excited by this. Because I've always wanted to do this pedalboard, but like I say, with the absence of a chorus ensemble and Mr. Fuzz, I haven't been able to do it. So now I can. I'm a bit giddy, which is great, and I love it. So next thing is the Boss Fuzz, the FZ3. Which we might have to put slightly under the wah there to fit everything on. Okay, and the last but not least, the glorious Boss DS2, one of my favourite distortion pedals of all time. Okay, so hey, we just fit. Look at that for spacing. I mean, you couldn't have got that any better if you'd tried, Dave. Okay, so that's ridiculously cool. Okay, so like I said, in between the WH10 and the Fuzz would have been a phaser on John's board. Like I say, I'm not going to bother with that. I do have a phaser. I've got the Tone City phaser, but I'm not going to bother with it because John didn't really use it, and it's just, I wouldn't use it either. I would stand on it for silliness every now and again, but I wouldn't use the thing. So we need the daisy chain now. Question is, do I use the WH10s? Yeah, I'm just gonna plug a thing in. I'm not even gonna be bothered with batteries. Okay, so and then nice and easy. Okay, so I'm not gonna go for neatness on that. So that's it. That is literally as simple as it was. And again, I feel John's playing around this period of time was just like ridiculously awesome, and I really loved it. So yeah, so there we go. That's it. There we go. Simple as can be. Chorus, wah, fuzz, distortion. Job's a good un. Okay, so that was easy. I was expecting that to be I don't know, pain in a way, but yeah. So I'm gonna move the version 1 over there so I don't stand on it. Okay, so now let's talk about amps. So I've got the pedal board. Let's talk about what amps we're going to use, and then we'll go from there. And then we'll plug it in and make noise. Okay, so let's talk amps. So around that period of time, this is the first incantation of John's amp setup, which is the Silver Jubilee and the Marshall Major. When John left the Chili Peppers in the early 90s, he was using JCM 800s, and before that, there was multiple different Marshalls. There's the 800s, there's the Master Volume Marshalls, and there's the Mark II Plexis I've seen him with, and then before that is Mesa Boogie, and also before that is Carvin. When he first joined the Chili's, he had a Carvin amp, and then he went to Mesa Boogie, and then from Mesa Boogie went to Marshall. I think he was kind of bullied into kind of like ditching the Carvins and the Mesa Boogies and the Ibanez, RGs for Stratocasters and Marshalls, but it definitely made him more unique, and it fit the band better. I've got to say, I'm not a fan of John's early tone, when he's using the Messers. As soon as he went to the Marshalls, I was like, that fits just so much better. It's just got more of that kind of Chili Peppers sound. Anyway, that Hillel had carved out basically. Anyway, so Californication era, John's using a Marshall Major and a Marshall Silver Jubilee for his main tone. He did have a Fender Showman, but the Showman was only used for the White Falcon. He didn't run his Telecaster or his Strats or his Jaguars into it. It was just there literally for the White Falcon, and he also had a DS1 for distortion into that amp as well. But other than that, we're not going to use that. I mean, we're going to focus on the main sound. So what I'm going to use to replicate those amps today is the Boss Katana Artist and the Marshall MG up here. And the Katana is going to be my Silver Jubilee, and the MG is going to be my Major. The reason that way around is because I have the Boss Katana set to be that kind of like really dirty, clean tone that John had in 1999. So this is simulating the crunch of the Silver Jubilee around that area, which is the amp I feel you hear a lot more of at that period in time. It sounds a lot more like you're hearing that than you are the Major. Because when you get into kind of like By the Way era, you're hearing definitely more of a Major than you are the Jubilee. And then I reckon Stadium Arcadium area, you're hearing kind of like a blend, like a 50-50 blend of the two. Californication, I feel it was kind of like a 60-40 split between the Jubilee and the Major. You're hearing 60% of the Jubilee, 40% of the Major. And then I feel it kind of like switched in the By the Way era, especially if you listen to Slane Castle. You're definitely hearing more of a Major at the Slane Castle gig than you are the Jubilee. But and then during Stadium Arcadium, it is literally 50-50. It sounds pretty much 50-50. And John's tone got brighter as well, actually, but that's another video altogether. So the Jubilee is the Katana, and the Major is the MG. And the MG is going to be set, well, I'll tell you how it's going to be set in a minute. We'll dial it in on camera. But the MG is going to be set a little bit cleaner-ish than the Jubilee, but the Boss Katana, but only a little bit. So out of these two, we're going to go into the Past Effects Chorus Ensemble and then out to the guitar. And the guitar I'm going to use is my #1 Oswald Strat, the first one Nick made me. It's basically the 50s inspired John Strat, the 1955 inspired Strat. I'm going to use that one instead of the Rosewood neck one. Because although it seems to be a pretty, again, 50-50 split between the 55 Strat and the 62 and then obviously the Telly, there's a lot of times you see John with his 55 during the Californication era more than the 62. I don't know why that was. He just favoured and the 55 is on the Californication album more than the 62 anyway. So anyway, that's enough whiffle waffle. So gonna get this pedalboard plugged in, get these amps on, and let's start dialing in a approximation of the tone, and then we'll go from there. And then and we'll once kind of everything's kind of dialed into kind of where it kind of needs to be, we'll just play and have fun. Exciting times. Okay, so all plugged in, all works, everything powers on, so happy days there. We don't have to go chasing our tail with anything. I'm not going to set the pedals yet, well, apart from the chorus ensemble, which I'll talk about in a sec. The Fuzz and the DS2 are just going to stay where they are. I'm not going to turn the Ibanez Wild down, the depth's just going to be on 10 all the time anyway. So, from the pictures of Californication era, it looks like John's running the level control on the CE1. Like he's got it on the high mode, and it looks around 12 o'clock-ish, from what I can tell. I'm sure that probably changed every day. But that's where we're going to start with this. So I've got the level control at 12 o'clock, and I've got it in high mode, which is not really the way I like to run the pedal, but that's the way John did it, so we'll stick to that for the time being, but it might, and very well, will probably change. So anyway, oh, and also as well, you're probably going to get a lot of noise today because I'm daisy chaining. So it's not going to be the quietest setup in the world, but I'm not bothered about that. And in all fairness, if you were in a noisy venue, the noise you would hear that you hear today, you wouldn't hear it. It wouldn't be there. So anyway, yeah. So forget the fuzz, forget the VS2, forget the Ibanez Wah, forget the chorus at this point in time, apart from the level control. Let's see what the amps sound like. So this is the Katana. And I do apologise if it's peaking the camera, but I'm just going with it as it is. Also, no reverb, just dry as a bone, because again, John didn't have any reverb, he didn't need it, he was playing big places. So the Katana's got a little bit more grit to it. It's a bit more distorted on the clean than I know you said the major, I'm getting mixed up. The MG will be. And also, I don't know if you can hear that. Let me turn the amp up really quick. That's the chorus. If I increase the chorus, you get that. Because, again, because the power supply I'm using is not quiet at all. Anyway, either way, doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's the Katana, that's the way the Katana's set. And we're going to use that as a reference to dial in the MG. So, let's turn the MG on. I'm going to use OD1 on the MG. I'm guessing the gain probably needs to be about 4-ish. I'm going to turn the Katana off. I really wish I could play Chili Peppers songs. Okay, so that's a lot cleaner. Well, cleaner, it's not clean at all. But that's a lot cleaner than the Katana, so they're both working. They're both working. So we've got stereo. Oh my god, that's a glorious noise. And it's really nice to have a juxtaposition of the Katana being quite dirty, it's got a lot more crunch to it, and darker. Then you got the bright MG, which is a little bit cleaner. Not a great deal cleaner, but a bit. Ridiculous. Awesome! Oh my god! Okay, so... Oh my god, that's the chorus! Oh, do you want to know something really interesting as well? If I mute the Marshall and just have the Boss, I won't get any chorus. I get a wibble, but no chorus. But adding the Marshall back in, because I'm running in stereo, makes it kind of pan between the two amps. Oh my gravy Jones, can I marry that sound and have it babies? I'm a bit in heaven. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to Ibanez Wah. Again, I'm trying not to get too much in the way of the katana because it'll block it. But I cannot wait to hear this mic'd up. Okay, so I'm going to come over here now. So the Ibanez Wah works, there's no volume jump either. Because again, it's been controlled by the amps and also the core ensemble a little bit, but it's mainly these things. Okay, so Fuzz. Right, now, John used the Fuzz as an all-out kind of lead thing. So it was cranked basically to the teeth. So, I'm going to crank it. So, Fuzz, I'm going to go for my favourite setting, which is level all the way up, fuzz all the way up, and tone at 12 o'clock. See what this does. This is going to send the camera crazy, but that's okay. That's the sound! That's the sound! No! That really sounds close. I'm going to boost up the tone a bit. I'm going to max the pedal out. Why not? Don't play it, Dave. Oh my. Okay. Okay, breathe. Calm. Okay, I'm calm. Okay, DS2 now. So the DS2 was not as gained up as it was later on, like during By the Way Stadium Arcadium era. The DS2 was a set with less distortion. So I'm gonna leave the level and tone on 10, but I'm gonna bring the distortion down to 12 o'clock. And we're also in mode 2 on the DS2. So this now should give me that mid-range honk. Yeah, but I should be able to stop playing without it going crazy. Because when you have the distortion all the way up on the DS2, as soon as you turn it on, you get that. All this. So, John would use the DS2 kind of low down during the Californication era for certain songs. It's hard to tell exactly which ones because it was just pick and choose. There was never anything kind of like set in stone with John. There never is. So it's just whatever he feels like using at the time. But the DS2 was definitely a lower gain thing. It was never really wound up, but I bet he did at some points. You see him down there sometimes messing with the pedals. But I'm going to run it at about 12, I think. I might change that. I probably will change that. But anyway, this is the DS2. Ridiculous! So, what's the Fuzz and the DS2 sound like together? Let's have a go. Bit ridiculous. The Fuzz isn't responding the way I'd like it to. Okay. That chorus is absolutely stunning. Okay, so... Okay, so I need to mic these things up to hear them properly and let you hear them properly as well, because one cab's down here, one cab's here, and I'm stood in the way of it a bit, but it's rather cool. The FZ3 is being a bit picky. At this point in time, I've got the level at 12 o'clock, I've got the tone at 12 o'clock, and I've got the fuzz all the way up. It's just not... You can hear it's kind of gating itself, which is what it does. I'm just going to crank the DS2. Okay, the DS2's back on 10 now. I don't know. I'm too close to hear it properly. But anyway, so I'm going to put these onto mute mode. And also, right, so the MG is going to be mic'd with a 57. I'm going to mic the Katana with a 58. And then we'll have a bit more of a play. So, back in a moment. And, yeah, back in a moo. Okay, so this is just the Marshall MG. Now this is just the katana. Okie dokie, people of the tube, there you go. To me, that sounds as close as I'm ever gonna get to that tone. I am worn out, I'm out of breath, I'm sweating like a pig. It's pretty gross smelling in here. But my god, what a sound. What? To me, it sounded pretty much bob on. Not perfect by any stretch of imagination, not 100%. You're never going to get 100% anyway. But I feel that's as close as I can get. So I need to try and mention a few things before I finish the video and try and keep my brain, because my brain's gone. Okay. Okay, so let's start with the pedals. So, for the entire video, I had the chorus ensemble set on the high mode with the output level at 12 o'clock. I didn't move it. That's where it seems to be with John. That's where it seems to work for this setup perfectly. I had the chorus intensity at 1 o'clock. That was where I had the chorus. I didn't use the vibrato at all. The Ibanez Watt, I turned the wah down to 11 o'clock as full up was too much. There was too much boost in the pedal. Like it wasn't a volume jump. There was just too much gain, and it was interacting with the pedals in a weird way where there was too much low end. So I turned the pedal down to 11 o'clock and it just worked perfectly. I would test it with the V1, but I don't, like I say, I'm just terrified of it. I just don't want to use it. If it was mine, definitely. Because it's not mine, I don't want to touch it. The fuzz, I had the level at 12 o'clock, tone at 12 o'clock, fuzz all the way up. DS2 was set flat out. Everything was on 10 on mode 2. When you combine both of those together, you get that Californication era lead tone. It's just there, especially on the neck pickup. And also, by the way, I switched to the John Strat as it felt more right. I don't know, it just didn't feel right me not using the John Strat. So I switched to the John Strat. Well, John Strat Mark II, the rosewood neck one. So that's how I had the pedals set. And that's all there was. The amps, what I did with the amps, because the Katana was... Sorry, I'm struggling with this bit. I should have done this before. Anyway, because I've always had a theory that John lent more on the Jubilee during the Californication era, and the Katana was more my Jubilee thing, I turned up the Katana louder than the MG. The MG was there, but they were panned. So, if I remember correctly, yeah, the MG was on the right side, the Katana was on the left side. No, panned left and right. Not hard panned or anything like that. It actually took me a long time to get it balanced because I was getting phase issues between the two. And then it dawned on me, the whole thing of John, my theory on John leaning more on the Jubilee than the Plexi. The Plexi is there as kind of like below. So you get, like I said, you get that 60-40 split between the Jubilee and the Plexi, with the Jubilee being on top and the Plexi just lagging behind. And as soon as I did that, it worked. The sound came. Because before then I was getting like a phase issue between the two, where the MG wasn't interacting with the Katana and Katana wasn't interacting with the MG. It was this weird kind of, you know, that kind of whooshy noise. Especially when I kicked on and off the chorus, it sounded really weird. So as soon as I put the Katana above the MG by a little bit, it came alive. It absolutely came alive. So, so basically you were hearing the Katana more than the MG, but the MG is in there as well. Like I say, they are panned left and right, so the MG was on the right as you saw it, so it's that side, and the Katana's on the left. Both individually, like at one point in the video, I just played the MG on its own and then the Katana on its own. Individually, they sounded totally different. But when they come together, when you turn them both on together, they make that sound. And it just reaffirmed to me the fact of, to get John's tone, you need 2 amplifiers. You can't do it really with 1 amp. You know, you can get close with 1 amp, but really to get it kind of like bob on, it needs to be 2 amps. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this is perfect by any stretch of imagination, but this really confirmed it to me that not only did John, during the Californication era, lean heavily on the more distorted side and warmer, darker side of the Jubilee than the Major, which is a bit brighter, a bit cleaner-ish. It also proved to me, again, kind of something that I've always thought of, like, really, to get John's tone, it needs to be 2 amplifiers running in stereo. It really does. So yeah, and that it just sounded mega to me. Like I say, the Katana was quite dark and the MG was quite bright, but when they came together, you got everything. Absolutely everything. The way the pedals interacted was perfect. There were no volume spikes because the amps are compressing, because they're more distorted. Let you know how I've got the amps set up. The MG was set up on OD1, and I had the gain at, is that 4? Yeah, it doesn't matter if I'm not on mics now. I had the gain set at 4, bass, middle, treble and contour were all on 0, and I had the volume all the way up, no reverb. The looper is going through the MG only, wasn't going through the Katana. And I had the master volume just below 2, so it's like 1.5 on the master. The Katana I have set up on the brown mode with the gain on 0, so all the way down. Volume all the way up, bass all the way up, middle, treble and presence all on 0, no effects, no booster, no reverb, no nothing, and I had the volume in the exact same place as the MG, 1.5. Well, yeah, where you can see. So basically, about 8 o'clock-ish, give or take. The volumes are set pretty much identical. And like I say, when you heard them in isolation on their own, when I soloed the MG, and then soloed this, and then you hear them together, it's just incredible. So, hopefully it came across okay. I am dead. I am totally dead. I'm that happy, I don't actually know how to express it. I'm high as a kite. I just don't know what to do. I'm just like, you know, this is one of those points in time where I've been after that John Frusciante tone, that Californication tone, for ages. I love that sound so much. It's my favourite John tone. It's possibly my favourite tone of all time. That era of John. Well, not possibly. I would say it definitely is. And to hear what I perceive as it, like I said, the way you hear it might be totally different, but to me that seemed so close. It was in jumping distance, you know what I mean? It's not in touching distance, but it's in jumping distance. I felt it was really close. Was a bit weird, but super cool, and I don't really know what to say. So that's how I had the thing set up, everybody. Like I say, the looper was only going through the MG. The Katana's mic'd with a 57. The Katana's mic'd with a 58. The MG's mic'd with a 57. They're both mic'd in the exact same place, just off the dust cover, where I always mic things up. They're I've moved it, haven't I? They're just so I can get my hand between the grill cloth and the mic. They're not close mic'd, but they're not distanced for either. Anyway, I need to go lay down. I need to go get something to eat. I'm starving. Anyway, people of the tube, let me know what you thought in the comment section below. I've got no more words. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a great morning, afternoon, and good evening, and I'll see you again. Have a great one until then. My mind is blowing up today. It's just gone. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. I'll see you again. Goodbye now. Thank you. Cheers.